Welcome to the Remembering broadcast from Maris Grove in beautiful Glen Mills, Pennsylvania. I'm the host, Dr. T. Philip Thompson. Today on our program, we are pleased to have Len Dwares. Len is going to talk to us today about his experiences as a young man in World War II. How old were you during World War II, Len?
I was, when Japan was born, I was 7.
When Japan was what now?
When Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, I
when
was
Japan
7.
bombed Pearl Harbor. Okay. That was in 1941. December of 1941.
Yeah, and President Roosevelt came on the radio and said, "This will be a day of infamy."
Infamy.
Yeah. And we, as young kids, it was a Sunday, and we were playing in Revere, Massachusetts. And, you know, at that time, it didn't matter. The parents let the kids go out because there was no problems.
So you grew up in Massachusetts?
Yeah.
Okay, so you were there on a Sunday afternoon, playing and
Just playing.
Yeah.
With my friends, and somebody came by and said, "Japan bombed Pearl Harbor."
Now, how do you think they found that out? Over the radio, maybe?
So, I heard it over the radio.
Okay.
That Japan, and we didn't know. We all worried that they're going to come here next. They don't realize that it was far away, and people on the West Coast were really upset.
Yeah.
So that,
wait. When you were 7 years old, what grade were you in? Maybe
Second.
Second grade. What was your reaction when you heard that news?
that we were all worried that Japan was coming to us next. That was really what the kids thought.
That they were going to bomb Boston?
Well, we didn't know.
Yeah.
We didn't know that Pearl Harbor was, a day away.
Yeah, it's a long flight to Hawaii.
Well, at that time, it was a long flight. They had reciprocating engines, not jets.
Yeah. It took
And they went slower.
Or you could take a slow boat to China.
Well, that's what it was. So, but that night, everybody went around the radio and listened to President Roosevelt speak. And he was very convincing. And on December 8th of that year, Congress declared war on Japan.
Yeah.
And shortly thereafter, they declared war on Germany.
So before this, though, a lot of people didn't want to get involved in the wars, right? Because there was a war going on in Europe, and there was a war going on between Japan and China, right? And it was like, we don't want to get in this mess. And but when they bombed Pearl Harbor, that changed the whole thing.
That changed the whole thing, and we got into it.
Yeah. Now, the vote, I was looking this up, the vote was unanimous in the Senate, but there was one holdout in the House of Representatives in the declaration of war. And it was the only female member of the House of Representatives from Montana.
Oh, God.
Now, one thing we have to do on a podcast is make sure our phones
Guys,
are on.
I can't talk now.
Yeah, okay. All right, we'll put it on vibrate. That's okay. It happens. It's modern. Today, if they bomb Pearl Harbor, we'd probably find out on our phones, right?
You'd look at it, you see it that minute.
Right. You'd see a picture come up on your phone or something.
Yeah. On your phone, on your TV.
On your watch, maybe.
On your watch. Everything.
We've come a long way since 1941.
Yeah. What I didn't understand was that the war in Europe started a long time before, and
Yeah.
It wasn't just Germany and Italy. There were a lot of others. Hungary, Romania, Slovakia, Croatia, all were on the Axis side, on the German side, to begin the war. But after that, after D-Day, a lot of them changed sides
Now, why do you think that was?
because at the beginning of the war, all you read was that Germany went into Poland, and then it went into Czechoslovakia, and it went in here and there. And we didn't know. They thought they were going to conquer the whole world.
Yeah.
Then at D-Day, which had 150,000 troops, went into the various beaches, etc., and the tide of the war started changing. First one to go was Italy, and Mussolini, and I still remember they were pulling down Mussolini's statue when Italy changed sides.
Now, when was that? Was that in 44?
I'll give you that.
Yeah. So it was a few years after Pearl Harbor.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
I can give you the exact
we didn't
date.
get into the war in Europe until 42, I think.
No,
right?
well, the end of 41.
At the end of 41. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's when we declared war on Japan, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
A few days afterward,
We got into it.
yeah.
Okay. Now, you were 7 then. How old were you when Mussolini went down? Were you 9 or?
I was probably around 9.
Yeah. So you were pretty young then.
Yeah, I had a paper route, though,
Did you?
on the street that I lived on.
Yeah.
And in fact, I found when we were going through our things we were moving, my mother had an envelope with my first dollar that I got paid for running that paper route.
route? That's cool. Did you keep that dollar or did you
I have
spend
it.
You have it.
I have it.
You kept it all this time.
Well, I didn't know. We kept it in our stuff, and Joyce and I were going through the stuff, and it said Lenny's first dollar.
And you've kept it all.
It was a silver certificate.
Wow. Oh, it's a silver. Well, those are worth something nowadays.
Not this one isn't. It may be worth $2-3.
Oh, okay.
However, during the war, I was delivering papers.
Yeah. You could read the headlines on the paper.
The headlines were Boston Record had 2 headlines: "Join the Plate Club and order all you can eat and don't leave anything." And that was called the Clean the Plate Club that we had to join because people in Europe were starving and we were eating still. And,
So they encourage you to eat everything on your plate.
right,
Now, do you do that when you are dining here at Maris Grove?
yes,
Yes. Okay, so you still do it. So,
it gets ingrained into you. You know, I heard that you get your whole thing that you do until you're 6. And you remember them, and you have the same habits all through life.
so many of the things that you recall from this time in your life has influenced how you have behaved as an adult up to now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Think about how that has happened. Think about what specific things that you experienced as a young man has affected you throughout your life.
Well, when I had a business, I treated everybody very well. In fact, I sold out my business in 1998, And 27 years later, my name is still on the door.
Because they
They tell me I don't have anything to do with the business, except they do my tax return for having my name on the door.
So they throw that in for free because they're using your name, your good name.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the two men who bought my business died suddenly. Mm-hmm. And there's a young woman who had, at that time, a young woman who has the whole business because you can't have a CPA firm owned by anything but a CPA. She had 5% of the business, and now she owns 100%.
And your name.
And my name.
On the door.
And
so you've been, your experience as a child made you a more ethical, moral person? Is that what you're saying? So that you try to treat others with respect and dignity. Now that's a good lesson.
Yeah.
Why do you think your experiences, though, made you behave that way? What do you recall about what you remember of that time?
My father had a lot of ethics, mm-hmm. and my mother had a lot of ethics. Mm-hmm. And when I went into business for myself in 1982, I just felt that you can't gouge people, and especially my CPA firm, and I've lived that way all the time. Mm-hmm. But I worried about what happened in Europe.
Yeah.
And most of the people, most of the countries got out. Although the Ukrainian that I was teaching English told me, and I didn't know this, Ukraine wasn't occupied by Germany; it was occupied by Romania.
Okay, and Romania, when it was occupying Ukraine, was part of the Axis?
Right.
Okay.
And they didn't get out of the war until August of 1944. Mm-hmm. They became part of the Allies, rather.
So they
than
switched sides.
They switched sides. But Bulgaria, Finland, they all switched sides. Italy switched sides September 1943. After they got rid of Mussolini.
So you were 9 in 1943.
Yeah, I was 9, and that's when I got the paper route.
Okay.
But I still remember...
That's when you owned your first dollar bill.
Yep.
Okay.
And I still remember the rope pulling down Mussolini's statue.
Now, when they did that to the statue of Saddam Hussein, did that kind of remind you of?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when they did that. Now, that was more recently.
Yeah.
But it was sort of like that.
Was just, these things, they just get into your mind, and you don't forget them.
Yeah. You think that's why you had such strong ethical, moral guidelines in your business, was because you experienced firsthand a battle between good and evil, between right and wrong?
I think so.
Yeah.
And I treated everybody very nicely. Maybe it didn't charge them enough, but I'm eating now.
You're eating. You're at Maris Grove.
And it's a wonderful place to be in.
And you're still doing the Clean Plate Club.
Oh yeah.
After all these
we don't
years.
take any food home.
No.
Except food for the desserts.
So during World War II, during your early childhood, you were encouraged to clean your plate. Why was that? Was it because of rationing? Did they have rationing?
Well, that's another story. But no, it's because people in Europe were starving, and if you took stuff and threw it away, that wasn't good. And the Boston Record had on the top of their paper was a paper that not a big paper, but it had on top of it, and it had every time, "Did you clean your plate today?"
Right on the front page of the paper.
Right on the front page of the paper.
Did you clean your plate today?
So, and
So that stuck with you.
oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
you get your mannerisms. I was told until you're 6, and I remember a lot of the stuff when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we at Revere, Mass. We didn't have many, although we were on the water. We didn't have any bad storms. But I remember the one in 1938.
Okay.
I was 4. And I remember on the beach that coming off of the beach, the roofs were flying, and that was the only one that we really had there. And an interesting story, my father had a friend, and in Massachusetts there, the garages were separate, not in the building. They were just a little garage.
Like a shed or something?
Well, it's a place to have a garage. So my father's friend, during a hurricane, his car was on the road. He says, "You know, I'm going to put my car in the garage." What do you think happened? A tree fell down on the garage and destroyed his car.
And cars were big back then, weren't they?
Not in the 30s.
Not in the 30s. They were smaller cars?
They were smaller cars.
Okay.
And in the
Shows you how much I
40s,
know.
were smaller cars.
It wasn't until the 50s that the bigger cars started.
Yeah, I remember my father had a Bentley, and you had to go out and crank it so the car would start.
Ah. Okay.
So-
Okay. And were you good at cranking the car?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But, it's like the airplanes, the old airplanes. You had to go and get them. They were reciprocating engines, and you had to turn the...
Now let me ask you about when you were a young man in the early 40s during the war years. What did you do for fun? What were some things you did?
Oh, see, you didn't have these restraints that you can't let your kids out. So we used to go every day to the baseball field and play baseball.
Yeah.
Would play up against. We'd break windows on the street because we played with not too many
broke
cars.
Windows
Oh yeah, you know.
deliberately?
No.
Now wait a minute.
No, we didn't do it deliberately, but there weren't too many cars at that time coming.
Okay.
So you played ball on the street.
Oh,
So when you hit the ball and it went on the side, you broke the window.
now were you more of a batter or more of a pitcher kind of player?
Just it played. I played first base,
First base.
and it was fun.
Oh, sure.
But
Do you like baseball today?
oh yeah,
So you still, there's another thing you learned from your childhood, is a love of baseball.
oh yeah. I was a big Red Sox fan. If you look up my phone,
Yeah.
who do you think is on my phone?
Wade Boggs?
No, Ted Williams.
Ed Williams. Go back further.
Number 9
Okay.
is my on my phone.
Okay. All right.
In fact, the Williams shift was designed, and then they made Fenway Park. They took the right field and they cut it in so that he'd get more home runs.
Oh, okay.
So,
So you remember Fenway Park back then?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a story with Fenway Park. I went to Boston University. Fenway Park is 2 streets over
From Boston U.
from Boston U.
Yeah.
And at that time, the Red Sox weren't getting too many people, and everything was a day game. And there was a garage across the street. You went over the streetcar tracks. Their door was open. You went through that swinging door, and then the other door was open, and you was at Fenway Park. And on the fifth inning, they opened the gates and let the college boys and girls in for nothing. Find a nice seat, because there were a lot of seats available.
Free game. Why not?
We went. That was I started in 52 to 56.
Okay.
That was after the war.
Yeah. What did you do right after the war?
That was in 1945.
So you would have been 11 then.
Well,
Yeah.
I went to school, played. I wasn't a very good player, but I played baseball a lot. And we went to the movies. It was 10 cents if you were under 12, and a quarter if you were over 12 to go to the movies.
Okay.
And there was a Pathé News and a cereal, two feature films, and your parents knew exactly where you were. You were in the movie theater for a dime. You went. Another aside, I had season tickets to the Phillies games when I moved here.
Okay.
And I had the third row back of first base. And guess my highest priced ticket was $16.
Back when you moved here. You can't get to the Phillies game for 16.
No, that was. Yeah, that's when I moved to Wilmington. I lived in Wilmington 60 years.
Okay.
And we used to go to the Phillies game. My first seats were up in Connie Mack Stadium.
Ah.
And that was nice. But the seats were, inexpensive. Now, you watch television, and the families have their little toddlers with them because they can't afford $25 an hour.
Sure.
We used to pay, when my daughter was born in 1960, we used to pay 50 cents an hour up until midnight and 75 cents an hour after midnight.
That's a pretty good deal still.
Now, the going rate is like $20 an hour for sitting with babies.
Oh, well. I wouldn't know since I don't have any kids.
Yeah, but the parents can't go. You watch the baseball games?
Oh, sure.
Do you see how many toddlers are there with their parents?
Well, sure.
They can't afford a babysitter.
Yeah. So they bring the kids. Well, maybe the kids like to be there too. All the noise and excitement.
Yeah. And you see them eating popcorn and things like that.
You enjoyed ball games when you were a kid, right?
Oh, I used to go to Red Sox games all the time. Well, when I was at Boston University, we'd go for nothing after the fifth inning. So get out of school and go to the baseball game.
So the love of baseball is something that you pulled out of your youth and during the war.
I watch every game.
Yeah. Anything else about that time that you recall has been an influence on your life? What did you like to eat? What were your favorite things to eat as a kid?
I don't remember. My mother was a good cook.
Was?
And she used to cook dinner every night.
Yeah.
During the war.
Favorite thing that she made that you liked?
I used to scrape the chocolate pudding pan.
Okay. But do you still like chocolate pudding?
Not really. I'd only like to get the pan.
So chocolate pudding wasn't something you kept with you from your youth. But well, that's okay. I used to like, or I used to not like peas, but now I love peas. So your tastes change. So maybe that wasn't it.
So, getting back to the war, when President Roosevelt got a cerebral hemorrhage and died in 1945.
Right.
The war in the Pacific was going on hot and heavy. When President Roosevelt, Franklin Roosevelt died, Harry Truman became president. And everybody used to ridicule him because they said he was the haberdasher. He came. I still remember when he was picked as vice president, there was a lot of trouble between who should they have, and finally they went to the haberdasher, and he became president. Mm-hmm. And they thought he would be the worst. Well, the war in Japan was going bad in Pacific. So he made a decision to drop the atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Mm-hmm. And that's the only time ever the atomic bombs were ever used. But that stopped the war. He dropped the one in Hiroshima on August 6:45, and in Nagasaki on August 9:45, and Japan surrendered in September 2nd. So even though he bombed those two cities, a lot of people were saved because it stopped the war. Mm-hmm. And that was VJ Day. VE Day was May 8th, 1945. So this was...
So the war in Europe was over before the war in the Pacific.
But not that long.
Yeah.
It 4 months, took only 4 months to stop this other war. Mm-hmm. And if you watch the movies about the war in Pacific, it was a bloody war.
My dad served in the Pacific Theater. He was in the Philippines. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And did your dad serve in the war? Or?
Yeah, my father was 32 when the war started.
Yeah.
And he immediately closed his business, and he went to work in Hingham Shipyard building destroyer escorts. Ah. And he worked there pretty much through the war, till he fell off a scaffold and hurt his back. So he went back into business. And then I remember there was still rationing. People don't know what rationing is, but they used to have ration stamps to get meat and whatever else, and you couldn't get butter. And I remember, this is the crazy things you remember. At that time, milk was delivered in gooseneck bottles, and the cream rose to the top. So my sister and I would roll the bottle back and forth, and guess what? Made butter.
Oh, you can make butter with these gooseneck bottles?
Right. Now you don't see gooseneck bottles.
No.
But that time, all milk came because it was not homogenized before during that time.
Did the milkman bring them? Did you have a delivery man?
Yeah. Outside a case.
Yeah.
He put the milk in, took out the bottles, because it wasn't a plastic bottles; they were all glass bottles, and they would you had to get them back. Mm-hmm. So
you put the used bottles in the bin where the milkman would put the new ones.
That's right.
Yeah. And if you wanted butter, even though there weren't rationing stamps available for it, you'd make your own.
Make your own butter by rolling that back.
Did it taste good?
Yeah, I don't remember. It was good.
Probably had to add a little
salt. But the cream rises to the top, and in the goose bottle, that's all the top has only cream. Mm-hmm. So when you roll it, you get butter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, your dad worked in the shipyard in Hingham.
Yeah.
I've been in Hingham. That's on the South Shore, right?
Yeah.
You grew up on the North Shore of
Yeah.
Boston? Yeah.
That's why he got up at 4 o'clock in the morning and drove to Hingham every day.
Oh, he drove down there. Okay. All right. And the car that you had to crank up?
No, that was later.
Oh, okay.
That was in the 1930s.
Oh, when you had the crank car.
Yeah, but this has started probably started working there in 42, 43. So he had at that time, I think, an Oldsmobile.
Oh. Did you ever have an Oldsmobile?
Yes,
Yes?
because I had a client that had it in Delaware who had an Oldsmobile dealership.
Ah.
So he used to give me and he had a loaner when he loaned out cars. So he gave me one of them that was not too old every year. I paid him for it though, and so I had a new Oldsmobile every year while I had him as a client.
Well, that's pretty nice. Every year you got a new Cutlass or something? Or, yeah, nice new Oldsmobile. That's a good deal.
Oldsmobile was at 88 and 98.
Yeah, the 88s, 98s, that's right.
So.
Well, Len, I really appreciated you coming here today and sharing some of your memories. Will you come back and do some more? Let's do a whole bunch of these.
I'll be happy to.
Yeah, because, you know, your experiences as a young person, I think really did not only affect you, but contributed broadly to our culture that we have today.
And my son follows it.
Your son?
Yeah.
Sure. He passed down a lot.
He was the
ideas.
head of major claims for an insurance company.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, he was in charge of the roof caving in on the Big Dig in Boston.
Oh, they finished that now. Have you been through the Big Dig? It's pretty nice.
Yeah,
I remember
I have.
when they were building that.
Yeah, that leads into Storrow Drive.
Yeah. Which went to your hometown there when you were growing up, right down
Yeah,
there?
we used to go through the Sumner Tunnel.
Yeah. Well, again, it's been nice talking to you. Let's do it again before long.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, and we'll reminisce some more. Well, that'll do it for this initial episode of Remembrances from Maris Grove.
Got you on there all the time.
I'm Dr. T. We'll see you next time.